Hey, you. Do you want to know a secret? Come here. I've got all the secrets because I've got the brand new Deathwing Assault box from Games Workshop. Lovely Dark Angel goodness. A huge thanks to Games Workshop for sending this out to me to review and create some content for you. So let's jump into the box and see what's inside. This is another fantastic box set that I'm really excited by. And let's just start by looking at some of the artwork that we've got on the inside of the cardboard box. This is gorgeous. I wish this was inside the insert. It's just a plain black one, but this is really, really nice. Beautiful artwork. I really like this guy who's just smashing the heck out of this guy from the Black Legion here. It's a really, really nice and evocative piece of 40k art. So that's the artwork on the box. Let's have a look at what we've got inside. So you will have seen this artwork on the website. Essentially what we get in this box is a Deathwing Assault Force. That's why it's called Deathwing Assault. So we've got Belial, which is a new model. We've got the 5 Knights, which are also new models. Then we've got 10 Terminators. Now those 10 Terminators aren't newish models. They came out, September this year. But they've also got the Dark Angels upgrade sprue, which has got things such as plasma cannon, sculpted shoulder pads, watchers in the dark, other iconography like a Dark Angel's torso for the Sergeant. Lots of nice little pieces there, which I think are really, really nice. So we'll have a look at all of that. We'll have a look at the upgrade sprues. Now the upgrade sprues are really nice. And if this is a sign of what the other chapters are going to get, I think folks are going to be really, really happy. So let's have a look at the instructions, then we'll have a look at the sprues. So as ever, it's nice that we've got some special artwork just for the cover of this, and this is a nice instruction booklet for the whole set, not just the separate instruction booklets for the kits. So first up, we've got Belial. Now I will make a small confession here. I've already built Belial, so I'll show you him in a second. In terms of the instructions, they're very straightforward. If I was going to draw your attention to anything, it would just be kind of, where is it? This bit here, when we put this part of the cloak on. So there's a join. I'll show you that join on the shoulder pads here in a moment. So that's the one thing to be quite conscious of. Now I've filled mine with sprue goo. You could use putty, whatever your favourite way of doing it is. And the other thing is the storm bolter on the sword. So let me show you my Belial. So he is a very nice chunky model. Probably a little bit bigger than a normal Terminator. And obviously with the cloak really bulks him out. So you've got this join here. So I've filled this with a bit of sprue goo. Now you can still see there's a little bit of a gap there, but when I run my thumb over it, it's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand that, and I'm going to sand in there very carefully, just so there's a very smooth join. You can also see I've left off the head. Now the reason I've left off the head is just to make painting it a bit easier, because the way I'm going to do these models is I'm going to use a Zenithal Prime to get the base coat down. So it'll be Xandri Dust and then a little bit of Wraithbone just to highlight. So what I'll then do for the cloak, for example, is I'm going to paint that black. When you're painting a dark colour over a prime like that, you really want to be careful. So by not having the head there, it just minimises the opportunity for me to make mistakes. Similarly, I've left obviously the storm bolter and the sword arm off. And the reason for that is to make it easy to get in here and paint the darker sort of purple colour on the robes and also things around the side. If I had thought about it a bit more, and if you're going to be building yours, I would potentially leave him off this base as well. So this bit here is one piece and you stick Belial to it. I probably would leave him off and paint him separate and then stick him on afterwards, but I've made my bed, so I will be lying in it. So that's Belial. Lovely model. I'm looking forward to seeing him come together. Now all the photos kind of show him in this pose, which is interesting. I think there's a little bit of iconography missing off there. I really think you could put like a Deathwing icon on there, which would be nice. And I'd be interested to see, I guess, if you look at him more front on, it does change the angle slightly. So we'll have a look at that in some of the photography when he's painted. We'll be doing a tutorial on Belial. So back to the instructions. So first up, we've got the Deathwing Knights. Now, you've got lots of options in the Deathwing Knights in terms of how you build them. So with this one, you can build it as a master or just as a standard knight. So the master's got this just a little bit more jazzier torso, jazzier tilt shield, and you can build him either with a sword like this or a mace. You can also build him with a sword in this pose as well, but it's not the relic sword that you get here. So in terms of putting it together, very nice and easy, very straightforward. There's a couple of things in terms of construction, which again I'll show you in a little bit because I've built the first one, to consider. Things like leaving the shield off, because it's just easier to paint it if it's not attached to the model and to get into all the nooks and crannies. The other thing which is interesting is connection points here for the weapons. So this sword here has got 3 kind of pieces to make it up, but the rest of them, it's literally the arm and then whichever weapon you want to put on it. So like if we flick through the rest of them, you can see very similar. All the way through is I'll probably be leaving the shields off, but building the rest of them is complete. Now, there's a wide selection of heads, hooded and helmeted. So you see these kind of like the Grey Knight style heads, Grey Knight style helmet, sorry. And then we've got the hooded options as well. So I'm probably going to go for hooded options on mine just because it really just ties into that Dark Angel nature. So let's, you know, flick through these fairly quickly. They've got their own teleport homer. They've got their own watcher in the dark as well. Now, again, I'm not a rules expert. I will briefly show you the Codex because there are some things in there which I was like, ooh, that's interesting. But the watchers in the dark, once per game, you can use them to give the unit a feel no pain. So that could come in handy, particularly if they are wading into combat. And you can build these either all swords or all maces. So you can use the sword options here. I think you've got the mace option on the box art. For the other Terminators, so we've got some additional heads on the upgrade sprue, which are really nice. The general construction of the Terminators is exactly the same as the kit, the original Terminator kit. So you've got your power fist, which you can either put just a normal cover on or you can put a chain fist on. And again, interesting tidbit with the sergeant. Reading the rules in the Codex, it looks like the sergeant can have a chain fist, but he can't have a power fist. Whereas in the normal Space Marine rules, he can have a power fist, chain fist, or a power weapon. So that's an interesting one for me that's slightly different. Conscious I may have read that wrong, so I'll put it up on the screen when I have a quick flick through the Codex later on. So again, like I said, this construction is basically the same. All you're generally going to be doing is swapping out that one shoulder pad for the Deathwing shoulder pad. Sorry, if I go back a page, you can see the Sergeant has a different torso. So there's a Deathwing torso that comes with it, but you don't have to use that. You can use the normal Sergeant torso if you want. There's also the Dark Angel specific sword, which is, again, slightly different to the normal kit. But I'll show you the upgrade sprues in a mo. And of course, the one I'm excited about is that plasma cannon. Not so excited about the gap filling I may have to do in the middle of it. But it is a really nice looking piece of kit as well. And every Terminator squad should have a cyclone launcher. So there we are. You can see the Terminator squad built there with some of the upgrades on there, the Dark Angel heads. So that's the instruction booklet. Again, these guys come with a watcher, which is on the upgrade sprue. And again, this watcher gives feel no pain for 1 turn. I think I've got that right, but I will pull the book out in a mo. So that's the instructions. Let's have a look at the kit. So I can't show you the Belial sprue because I've already built it, but let's have a start with the Deathwing Knight. So I've already built this one, which I'll show you in a mo. Again, like Belial, I've left off the face or the head, and I'm leaving the shields off as well. So we built one knight. There's the option for the torso, and then we've got another knight next to it. So you can see these really lovely detailed sculpted shoulder pads, which I love. Detail on the shield's fantastic as well. And then we've got the sword and the mace, different weapons that you can equip the model with. I quite like when legs are done like this because it's easier. There's only a little bit of cleanup, and then obviously you put the greave over. So you're not having a mould line right down the middle of the greave, and it's something that the intercessors, the assault intercessors particularly suffer from. We've got 2 more sprues of Deathwing Knights, so there's 3 sprues. And here you can see, again, further details where we've got shields, really nice detail, torsos, really nice detail on the shoulder pads. These are quite chunky guys as well. I've not actually put them next to a normal Terminator, but I feel like they're just a little bit chunkier, even though they're probably exactly the same size. They feel more because they've obviously got the shields, they've got the robe torso as well, which is beautiful. It really does give me hope for Black Templars getting a very similar kind of, if not total new Terminator unit, at least maybe some upgrade torsos which have got tabards on. That would be amazing there. So that's that sprue, and then the last one we've got is this one here, which has got all the heads on it. So like I said, it's the Grey Knight style helmet. It's got the hooded heads as well, which are lovely. It's got your watcher in the dark here as well, which is a nice little addition to the kit. It looks nice on the tabletop, and we've got the final knight there as well. So those are the Deathwing Knights, which again, it's a lovely, lovely new kit. And I think it's a lot nicer than the old one when that came out. And the reason I say that is because they just looked very awkward and very stumpy, and I'm not sure necessarily they were sculpted with the same skill these have been sculpted. I'm not sure if they were digitally sculpted or not. I think they were, because the sprue is quite packed like this. But I just think that the way that the skill levels moved on, I think these are much nicer and much more representative of what Deathwing Knights should be. And I think, you know, you've got your own teleport homer there as well. It's probably the same teleport homer as the normal Terminator unit. So here's the one I've built. So like I said, I've left the head off, I've left the shield off, which is here. I haven't actually picked what head I'm going to give him yet, but this just makes it easier for me to kind of get in and paint those bits that I need to. Again, it'll be a very simple paint job with using primers as much as possible to get the base coat down, and then just shading with a bone-ish colour, something like Skeleton Horde or the Army Painter one, which I can't remember the name of that, but I really liked it when I used it on my Norn Emissary, so I might use that actually just to get some shadow, and then, you know, a nice simple highlight. The challenge as ever will be getting it done without actually getting it too much or getting too many mistakes over the bone armour itself. So that's that one built. Now, I'm not going to show you the Terminator sprue because that's been out for a while, but I am going to show you the new Dark Angel upgrade sprue. So this is the new Dark Angels upgrade sprue, and I really, really, really like it. I'll tell you for why. So, first off, we've got our Terminator upgrades here. So we've got the plasma cannon, and you can see why I was not too keen about the gaps that may have to be filled on that, but that's fine. Bit of sprue glue might actually make that fairly straightforward. We've got a Dark Angel Terminator helmet, tilt plates, some accessories here, and we've also got the Deathwing shoulder pads. So there's enough shoulder pads there to do a 5-man unit of Terminators, which is great. We've got the Watcher in the Dark and their book. We've got the Terminator Power Sword, all fantastic. We've then got Gravis plates. Now, we've got a Stormbolter first and foremost, which again, and some hip plates and an icon for the Terminator Sergeant. So that's great. So one upgrade sprue will work for 5 Deathwing Terminators, which is great. We've then got Gravis pads. So we've got this one, this one, this one. And we've also got these ones here. So we've got 6 Gravis pads for the aggressors, which again is really, really nice because it gives you the option. So you can get 6 aggressors out of this. Now the other thing I was quite surprised about, it's actually got shoulder pads for the infiltrator style armor. So it's got that little notch cut out there. So that's interesting. We've got enough shoulder pads here for 5 intercessors. And the other thing we've got here is we've got 5 shoulder pads for heavy intercessors, which again is a nice touch, and I wasn't really expecting it. We've got a sword, which can be used on either like an intercessor or Ravenwing biker, for example. I am slightly disappointed we've only got one of these icons for the Outrider squad. Now, perhaps that's because only the Sergeant has one, but I like to just see them flying across the battlefield, a bit like Winged Hussars. I really love this kind of look. But we do have enough Ravenwing icons here to go on the side of a squad of Outriders, which is really, really nice. We just flip this over. We can see then also the head option. So we've got some hooded head options with the Blade Guard style helmets, which are nice. We've got some Terminator style heads that we could potentially use here, as well as normal intercessor heads. A nice book there that can go on something if we needed to. But yeah, generally, this is a really nice upgrade sprue. I mentioned Black Templars earlier. This is similar to the Black Templar upgrade sprue, but I think it's a lot more focused. And you imagine you'd have something like this for Dark Angels, for Blood Angels. It'd be very simple to make something like this for Blood Angels. Similar for Space Wolves, although I do think perhaps with Space Wolves they may just do a brand new Wolf Guard unit, and then maybe some like a Terminator upgrade sprue. I don't know how that would work, whether they might just tweak how Space Wolf Terminators work. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so that's the upgrade sprue, which is really, really nice. I can't see them doing them for all chapters, like Imperial Fists, Crimson Fists, those kind of things, but I can definitely see them doing them for the Divergent chapters. So we'd have a Dark Angel one, a Blood Angel one, we'd have a Space Wolf one, or maybe a Space Wolf Wolfguard kit, and potentially, I know we've already got a Black Templar upgrade sprue, but I'd love to have one of these for Black Templar Terminators. I think that would be really, really nice, because I'm very impressed with how much use you'll get out of this upgrade sprue. Sometimes you get them and you have to buy lots of them to get all the bits you need, but actually I'm quite impressed with this one. There's quite a lot of bits on here that you can potentially use as well. So yeah, so that's the upgrade sprue. Let's have a quick look at the Codex and some of the things that I noticed in there as well. Just before we jump into the Codex, I did want to show you this. So there's 2 Dark Angel decal sheets in there, which is lovely for Dark Angels because they've got lots of nice, useful decals. I'm sorry, it might be a little bright to see some of the lighter ones. If I just flip it, if I just hold it like that, you can see the white decals on there. So that's nice. But what I find interesting is this is different to the decal sheet that they've advertised on the back of the box. On the back of the box, it's got all the successor chapters on there as well as some Dark Angel icons, but that's not what you get in the box. So either they've put the wrong ones into this one, which is my early release copy, or they're potentially going to release that decal sheet later on down the line.
So let's have a look at the Codex then. Again, this will be the limited edition Codex. It'll be slightly different to the main one that gets released. So this is really nice. I'm calling it a Codex. It's not a Codex. It's down as a Codex supplement. So this looks really, really cool. Some classic Dark Angels art there on the front and on the back as well. That's probably the same art piece potentially. No, I think it's a different art piece, but still looks great. So I'm not going to show you the rules of the data cards because I'm not supposed to, but I will go over a few bits and pieces. And there's just a couple of things that have caught my eye as well, which I'll run through with you. So in terms of what we've got the story of the Unforgiven. We've got to showcase the miniatures, which I will show you because it's really nice. I'm going to move my light a little bit just so it doesn't shine too much. Hopefully you can still see it all. We've got the Forces of the Dark Angels and Crusade. So lots and lots of nice lore stories about the Dark Angels, their battles and everything, which is lovely. A little bit of cipher there as well. Just move him so you can see it properly. So yeah, lovely bit of artwork. There's Lionel Johnson, the Primarch returned. So yeah, there's lots of great stories, classic bit of art. They've actually replicated this in miniature as well, which is really nice. And we'll get to that. And then we've got the Ravenwing, the Deathwing, and then some of the stories of the characters of the Dark Angels. Got Azrael and Asmodai, Belial, great new model. I'm really interested about Samael. So obviously he used to have a land speeder, which is gone. So he's just got his jet bike now. But he's not got a new model. So I wonder if we'll have a bit of a Ravenwing re-release, maybe in the next edition. That'd be quite cool. Because his model is really cool, but it's probably looking a little dated at the moment. Then we've got some successor chapters as well. So let's have a look at some of the showcase. Now there are some fantastic pictures that the guys at the studio have put together here. These are all really nice. The Deathwing disembarking from their Land Raiders. There's some really nice shots as well. Some heavy intercessors, the Apothecary Biologists, and then really nice artwork. Got a tutorial on the channel for Azrael as well. And then we've got some of the Deathwing, the new Asmodai model, which looks beautiful. Those robes are going to be fun to paint. The Belial model, which I showed you earlier, and also the Terminators. So these are some of the showcase photos. These Inner Circle Companions, these are really, really nice miniatures as well. Now, I think when you look on Warcom, there's like 6 different builds for these. I was wondering if you're going to get 6 in the pack, but probably thinking about you're going to get 3. The squad size is 3 to 6, so I imagine you'll get boxes of 3, a bit like Blade Guard, because their squad size is 3 to 6 as well. So yeah, you're going to get 3, and then you pick how you build them. But these are really nice. I like the old style Mark of Armour helmets as well, and the general aesthetic. And it's the same colour armour as the Lion's wearing, which is kind of that greeny black. Some more artwork. I just want to get to, there's some successor chapters there. And there's that Lion versus Angron from the artwork as well, albeit on different sides. But again, a classic battle and a classic encounter. So we've also got the Combat Patrol for the Dark Angels. So there's some information on what the new Combat Patrol is going to be. A little bit strange that they've got a Gravis captain, because I don't think he can lead any of these units, so you can't join them. So it may have been better to maybe have some Gravis heavy intercessors there, because they look really cool. And there's the rules on how you play Combat Patrol again, which I'm just going to go through those. Now we've got Forces of the Dark Angels. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these because I'm not supposed to show you the rules and things like that. But one thing I did want to just bring up, if I can find it. It's the Deathwing Terminators, and something that jumped out at me as being a little bit different to the normal Space Marine Terminators. So yes, they've got the Watcher in the Dark. So we're just going to move this down. So they've got the Watcher in the Dark, which gives them a 4-up feel no pain once a battle. But interestingly, the Deathwing Sergeant is equipped with a Stormbolt and Power Weapon. So the normal Space Marine Terminators are equipped with a Stormbolt and Power Fist. You can change it to a Power Weapon or a Chain Fist. And obviously, because then the rule says that any number of Deathwing Terminators can each have their Power Fist replaced with one Chain Fist, you can't put a Power Fist or a Chain Fist on the Dark Angel's Deathwing Sergeant. He has to keep his Power Weapon, which I thought was quite interesting. So just a little thing there. Now, if I am reading the rules wrong, do let me know down in the comments, because I may well have made a mistake there, but that's just how I'm reading it. Which again is quite interesting for me, because I think that pointing power fist for the Sergeant on the Terminator is really cool. I've used it on one of the Plasma Cannon Marines to make him look a little bit more sort of like dynamic versus what the original box build is. So yeah, so I just thought that was quite interesting. And then we've got some strategies, some agendas, or all the Crusade rules again, which are pretty cool. And again, more fantastic artwork, some Crusade badges.
So there we have it, an absolutely cracking box for the Dark Angels. I'm really, really impressed with some of the models, but I'm most impressed with that upgrade sprue and the potential that opens up for other Space Marine chapters. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. The painting tutorial is on the way very, very soon. I've really enjoyed painting these models, and I hope that you enjoy the final results. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and if you really like to, why not subscribe as well? I'll catch you next time.